Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you the exact step-by-step formula I use to get more views on my videos. So by the end of this session, you'll have a clear plan to implement immediately. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch the end video. So please don't skip this video.
The 1p coin, or 1 penny coin, in the UK has a long history, but specifically regarding 1993. Decimalization and the 1p coin. The modern decimal 1p coin was introduced in 1971 as part of the UK's decimalization process, replacing the pre-decimal penny. Design in 1993. In 1993, the 1p coin would have featured the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, front, and the crowned portcullis with chains, a representation of the royal arms, on the reverse, back. A design that was maintained since its introduction. Composition: the 1p coin in 1993 was made of copper-plated steel. A change that occurred in 1992 from its original bronze composition due to rising metal costs. Significance: the 1p coin in 1993 continued to be a widely used denomination for everyday transactions within the British monetary system. Here's a long and detailed history of the United Kingdom's 1 penny coin in 1996, tracing its background, design, composition, and historical significance. 1. Origins of the British penny. The penny is one of the oldest coins in British history, with a lineage stretching back over 1,200 years. Anglo-Saxon beginnings, c. 8th century. The earliest English pennies were silver coins, first standardized under King Offa of Mercia in the late 8th century. These ciatas and silver pennies set a precedent for the denomination that continued throughout medieval England. Medieval period, 4 centuries. The penny was the main unit of English currency, usually struck in silver. Larger sums were measured in shillings, 12 pence, and pounds, 240 pence. 17th to 18th century, as inflation rose, the penny declined in silver content and size. By the 18th century, copper pennies appeared, replacing silver issues for everyday transactions. Victorian era, 1839 onwards. Bronze pennies were introduced in 1860 under Queen Victoria, with Britannia on the reverse. These coins were large, heavy pieces that became iconic symbols of British coinage. 2. Decimalization and the modern penny. Pre-decimal penny, until 1971. The UK used the old system of pounds, shillings, and pence. 240 pence equals 1 pound. The pre-decimal penny was much larger in size than modern pennies. Decimalization, 1971. Britain reformed its currency system on February 15, 1971, creating a decimal system where 100 new pence equals 1 pound. The old penny, 1d, was withdrawn, and a new 1 new penny, 1p, was introduced. The new 1p coin was smaller, made of bronze, and distinct from the large pre-decimal penny. 3. The decimal 1 penny coin design. Obverse, front always carried the portrait of the reigning monarch. By 1993, it showed Queen Elizabeth II's third portrait by Raphael Maclauf. Used 1985 to 1997. This portrait depicted the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem. Reverse, back designed by Christopher Ironside in 1971. It featured a crown portcullis, a stylized medieval gate with chains, a symbol long associated with the Palace of Westminster. This design remained until 2008, when the Royal Shield series was introduced. Composition: pre-1992 bronze, 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin. Composition: post-1992, including 1996 copper-plated steel, due to rising copper prices. The change meant that 1993 pennies were magnetic, unlike earlier bronze issues. 4. The 1993 UK 1 penny coin. The 1993 issue continued the established pattern of the decimal penny. Diameter, 20.3 millimeters. Weight, 3.56 g. Thickness, 1.65 millimeters. Composition, copper-plated steel, since 1992. Edge, plain. Mintage, circulation over 700 million pieces, making it one of the most common circulating denominations at the time. Obverse, Queen Elizabeth II. Raphael Maklauf's effigy, legend reading Elizabeth II. D.G. Reg. F.D. De Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor equals. By the grace of God, Queen. Defender of the faith. Reverse, crown portcullis with chains. The word 1 penny above, numeral 1 below. 5. Historical context in 1993. In 1993, the British economy was in a period of relative recovery after the early 1990s recession. Coins like the penny remained essential for small purchases, vending machines, and everyday cash transactions. Although small, the penny was still widely used for pricing, often ending in .99 to give the impression of cheaper goods. By this point, pennies were increasingly made from copper-plated steel, reflecting cost-saving measures by the Royal Mint. 6. Collectability and legacy. Circulating 1993 pennies are not rare. They were struck in very high numbers and remain in circulation today. Proof and brilliant uncirculated (BU) versions exist, often included in annual coin sets for collectors. Historically, 1993 pennies are notable as part of the final years of Raphael Maklauf's portrait, which was replaced in 1998 by Ian Rank Broadley's design. 7. Symbolism of the penny. The 1993 penny carried forward a millennium-old tradition. The portcullis links the coin to Parliament and governance, symbolizing security and tradition. The penny itself represents continuity, while its value in purchasing power had diminished greatly by 1996. Its cultural and symbolic presence endured. 8. Transition after 1993. In 1998, the Obverse design changed to Rank Broadley's portrait of the Queen. In 2008, the reverse design changed from the crowned portcullis to a new heraldic series, showing a portion of the royal shield. Thus, the 1993 penny is part of the late Maklauf-era coinage, making it historically significant as one of the last of its style. Historical context in 1993. In 1993, the British economy was in a period of relative recovery after the early 1990s recession. Coins like the penny remained essential for small purchases, vending machines, and everyday cash transactions. Although small, the penny was still widely used for pricing, often ending in .99 to give the impression of cheaper goods. By this point, pennies were increasingly made from copper-plated steel, reflecting cost-saving measures by the Royal Mint. Collectability and legacy. Circulating 1993 pennies are not rare. They were struck in very high numbers and remain in circulation today. Proof and brilliant uncirculated (BU) versions exist, often included in annual coin sets for collectors. Historically, 1993 pennies are notable as part of the final years of Raphael Maklauf's portrait, which was replaced in 1998 by Ian Rank Broadley's design. In summary, the 1996 UK 1 penny coin was a copper-plated steel coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II's Maklauf portrait on the obverse and a crown portcullis on the reverse. It belonged to the modern decimal penny series introduced in 1971, but carried with it the deep legacy of the British penny, one of the world's longest-lived coin denominations. While common in circulation, its historical importance lies in its role as a bridge between centuries of tradition and the evolving coinage of late 20th century Britain.
History of the Polish zloty. Early origins, 16th century. The earliest version of the zloty was introduced in the early 16th century. following monetary reforms ordered by King Sigismund the Elder. The name zloty originated from the Polish word for gold or golden, reflecting its initial value equivalent to 30 silver grosz, a periods of change and reintroduction. Despite periods of lost independence for Poland, the zloty continued to be issued until 1841. Notable historical artifacts from this era include gold coins, featuring the image of Russian Tsar Alexander, who was also King of Poland at the time. A modern era. The zloty was reintroduced in the early 1920s to replace the Polish mark, which had been devalued by hyperinflation. Subsequent periods of inflation and political events led to new versions of the zloty being issued and exchanged at various rates. A current version, the current version of the Polish zloty, including the 1 zloty coin, was introduced in 1995. In 2020, Narodowy Bank Polski, National Bank of Poland, began circulating 1 zloty coins made from copper and nickel-plated steel, while maintaining the same image, edge, diameter, and weight as previous versions. 1. Origins of the zloty. The word zloty literally means golden in Polish, and the currency name dates back to the late Middle Ages. By the 14th to 15th century, foreign gold coins such as the Hungarian ducat and the Venetian zecchino were widely used in Poland and referred to as zlot. Over time, the term became associated with a standardized Polish currency unit. By the 16th century, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth adopted the zloty as a unit of account, initially valued at 30 groszy, a subdivision of the currency. The zloty itself was not minted at first but existed as a reckoning unit, with payments often made in grosz or in thalers calculated into zloty. 2. The first 1 zloty coins, 17th to 18th century. The first 1 zloty coins were minted in the late 16th and early 17th centuries, during the reign of Sigismund III Vasa, 1587 to 1632. These coins, also called trojaki or polchuras, depending on denomination, were silver coins. Their weight and silver content were reduced over time due to financial strains, especially during wars such as the Deluge, mid-17th century. By the 18th century, 1 zloty coins were still struck but became smaller and of lower silver fineness. 3. The Partition era, 1795 to 1918. When Poland was partitioned by Russia, Prussia, and Austria in the late 18th century, the zloty as an independent currency ceased to exist. However, various occupying powers issued coins for use in Polish lands. Under Russian rule, Congress Poland, 1815 to 1867. The zloty was retained alongside the Russian ruble. 1 zloty silver coins were minted in the early 19th century, often featuring the Polish coat of arms with Russian imperial symbols. By 1867, the ruble fully replaced the zloty. 4. Rebirth of the zloty, 1918 to 1939. Poland regained independence in 1918 after World War I. Initially, the Polish mark was used, but in 1924, under Władysław Grabski's currency reform, the zloty was reintroduced as Poland's national currency. The Second Polish Republic, 1924 to 1939, issued new coins in denominations including 1 zloty, minted in silver. Early designs included allegorical figures, such as a woman sewing grain, national eagles, and floral motifs. In 1929, a new 1 zloty coin design appeared, made of nickel, showing a stylized eagle. By the 1930s, inflation and global silver shortages meant base metal 1 zloty coins became common. These interwar coins remain highly collectible today. 5. World War II and occupation issues, 1939 to 1945. During Nazi occupation, 1939 to 1945, the Polish zloty was replaced in the general government territory by special occupation banknotes, called zloty. Number 1 zloty coins were issued, though German authorities did strike some low-denomination coins, 1 grosz to 50 groszy, in zinc. Thus, the 1 zloty coin vanished during the war years. 6. The People's Republic of Poland, 1945 to 1989. After World War II, Poland fell under Soviet influence, and the zloty was reintroduced in socialist form. First post-war issues, 1949 1 zloty coins were minted in aluminum, with the socialist eagle, without crown. Later issues in the 1950 S70s used cupra nickel or aluminum bronze. Designs varied, but they usually bore the denomination 1Z and the socialist-style Polish eagle. During the 1980s, hyperinflation devastated the currency. The value of the 1 zloty coin dropped so much that it became practically worthless, similar to small change. 7. Modern Polish zloty, 1995 present. In 1995, Poland underwent a major currency redenomination to fight hyperinflation. The new zloty, PLN, replaced the old zloty, PLZ, at a rate of 10,000:1. The current 1 zloty coin was introduced in 1995. It is made of cupra nickel, weighs 5 g, and measures 23 mm in diameter. Design: Obverse, the crowned Polish eagle, modern national emblem. Reverse: large numeral 1 with the word ZOTY beneath, surrounded by a laurel wreath. This design has remained unchanged since its introduction. 8. Commemorative issues. Poland also issues commemorative 1 zloty coins for collectors, but these are less common than higher denomination commemoratives. Most circulating 1 zloty coins follow the standard 1995 design. 9. The 1 zloty in everyday life. Today, the 1 zloty coin is one of the most frequently used denominations in Poland. It is equivalent to 100 groszy and serves as an essential medium of exchange for small transactions. Despite inflation, it has retained its usefulness. Unlike the smallest grosz coins, 1, 2, 5 groszy, which are often seen as inconvenient. Conclusion: the 1 zloty coin has a history stretching back more than 4 centuries. From its origins as a silver coin in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, through disappearance during partitions, rebirth in the interwar republic, socialist-era aluminum tokens, and today's modern version, it mirrors Poland's turbulent history. It stands today not just as a piece of currency, but as a symbol of national continuity, surviving wars, partitions, inflation, and political transformations.